Hello, my name is David Turner and I'll be working with you in this unit, Leadership in the Educational Context. This is one of 4 units developed for a new postgraduate qualification, a graduate certificate in educational leadership. This course was developed through a partnership between Central Queensland University Australia, QASP, the Queensland Association of State School Principals, one of the largest professional associations for school leaders in Australia, and current practicing educational leaders. The intent of this partnership was to close the gap between theory and practice. We want to pick up on the complexities and demands placed upon educational leaders in their daily work and link that to the evidence base and research that tells us what the leadership practices are that contribute to improved learning outcomes for Australian students. In 2018, CQ University is also adding new strands to the course. In addition to the school leadership major, there are also majors in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, early childhood education, and disability and inclusive education. This unit is one of 2 core units in the course. You've obviously found the Moodle site, which is a great start. This is the learning management system that contains the resources you will need to complete the unit. Let's start by looking at the structure of the Graduate Certificate in Educational Leadership. As I said, this is one of 2 core units in the program, along with the Leadership Project. This is the school leadership major on the screen, but you can find detail of the other majors in the CQ Uni Handbook. Look up CH83 course and you'll find some further detail on the structure of the course. The Moodle site also contains the unit profile. The profile contains details of how the unit links to the Australian Qualifications Framework, the CQ Uni graduate attributes, the learning outcomes for the unit, and the assessment tasks. Let's start by having a look at the unit as a whole. You'll note that I've highlighted a few of the words in the overview. Certainly we'll look at the current research into educational leadership. In the past decade, we have learnt quite a lot about what leadership practices lead to learning outcomes for students. In the first half of the unit, we'll spend some time looking at your own leadership, your capabilities, your preferences. This is based on the premise that you can't really lead others until you have a good understanding of yourself. I'll get to the assessment task shortly, but the first 2 tasks in this unit are really about having to articulate who you are as an educational leader. As the unit progresses, we'll have a look at the personal well-being of educational leadership. It is a complex and demanding role, and we really do have to look after ourselves, our staff, our families, to ensure that we are successful in dealing with the complexities and demands of the job. So let's have a look at the assessment tasks in a bit more detail. There are 3 tasks in this course. The first is a presentation worth 30% of the marks for the unit. It will be presented at the optional residential weekend to other students in the unit if you are attending. That's at the end of week 3, or by uploading it to the Moodle site. The scenario is that you've just been appointed to a new school or early childhood centre in a leadership role. What you are to do in this task is to introduce yourself to the staff and community. The task requires you to support that introduction through the use of some technology. So that could be a PowerPoint, could be a presentation, or indeed you might want to do a little video clip. As I said, this will be presented at either the residential or uploaded via the Moodle site by the due date, which is the 26th of March. Please note that the residential will only go ahead if there are sufficient numbers to enable collaboration between the group and the building of a learning community for the course. The second assessment task builds on the first. It explores you as a leader in a little more detail. This will enable you to include a few data sets, which might be feedback from colleagues or a supervisor, a 360-degree tool, perhaps the AITSL tool, or an assessment of your personality type, perhaps through a Myers-Briggs type indicator or similar tool. This is due on Friday, April the 20th, and is worth 40% of the mark. It will need to be referenced against educational leadership, and it will be written tasks. So you will need to also reference using the APA style. More of that later on. The final task is related to your contribution to a discussion list on material covered over the last 6 weeks of the unit. This will be a weekly contribution, maybe 300 or 400 words, with a focus on the well-being of educational leaders. It's worth 30% of the overall mark, and it'll need to be finalised by Friday the 1st of June. We'll look at the task in more detail in the weeks ahead. You'll note in the Moodle site that there are 12 topics, one for each week of the university term. You'll note also that in each topic there are a number of tasks, videos, websites, for example, the AITSL site pertaining to the Australian Professional Standards for Principals, and readings. All of those are there for you to engage with. We'll also have Zoom sessions throughout the term. Primarily, these are prior to key dates when assessment tasks are due, just as a check-in to see how you are progressing. These will also be recorded, so if there's a reason that you can't make it, you'll be able to catch up on any material covered. Please just let me know if you'll be missing the session. So in summary, I'm really looking forward to working with you throughout this unit, leadership in the educational context. My contact details are on the next slide, so please don't hesitate to be in touch. I'm only too happy to assist you through this learning journey, and you'll be able to get me by email, or better still, ring me on my mobile.